Tonight's teaching is aimed at eroding scarcity mentality. Scarcity not from the standpoint of money is scarce or there's limited amounts of XYZ, but scarcity from the perspective that there's still space for you. Most of the time, the discouragement that comes in the pursuit of our goals comes as a result of the idea that there's limited space or there are limited people meant for the job. As the day goes by, your field of endeavor is becoming oversaturated. What are the chances that when I'm done learning this skill, when I'm done with this program, there will still be space for me? And it's become a worry, especially with the development of AI and other technology that can substitute for human labor. That's an aspect. Even I was plagued with this limiting belief system. As a young man, very hilarious story. I would try as much as possible to build wealth quickly, not to spend or to live some kind of luxurious lifestyle, but to get into the property market as quick as possible. I thought if I wait to or if I do not act as quickly as possible, all the lands will be sold out. I'll have money or I'll get into the property market at a higher price. As a consequence, with every land that got sold in my vicinity, it would break my heart. It would scar my heart as though it was impossible never to attain this result. But my friend, relinquish that mindset. How many musicians have spurred across the 2 to 3 year horizon? Exactly. There's a lady, a musician, who won the Grammy recently, and I will not say her name publicly. She had only been a year or two in the music industry. Yes, look at the achievements. Now, whether or not her song is shit is debatable. But the point I want every single one of you to grasp is that there's still space for you. A man's gifts maketh room for him. Seeth a man diligent in his work, he would stand among kings and not mean men. So whatever it is you are putting in work, it is very discouraging, especially when you see people who are less valuable, less skilled than you, enjoying results unimaginable while we are constrained in a position in the name of building and developing that skill. Stay in that lane. Stay in that lane. Trying to end the opposite direction or switch sides in an attempt to capitalize on the new fad would only waste your time. And I'm not against pivoting. I'm not against if you try, and this endeavor is yet to come to fruition. There is a time you pivot. Like in the story of when Jobs left Apple, he started building Nexus. Nexus was a graphic design company to help animation, I believe animating cartoon. The internet was still at its infancy. There are very few things or a lot of things we take for granted that were seen as innovation previously. For instance, there's a feature on your iPhone called the inertial glide. It's the feature that stops your scrolling from automatically halt when you stop. Nowadays, manufacturers just imbue it into their new products without realizing that feature was as a result of hours of brainstorming from Jobs and his team. Hours led to days, days into weeks before they could come up with that feature. So the iPhone is like a prototype for various devices. Another point I want to quickly interject is every single thing connects to everything. According to Da Vinci, everything leads to everything. Trust that this process you are going through, this pain, this unimaginable work you are putting in, yet to see the results, would prove useful in the future. It's like Steve Jobs dropping out of school, taking calligraphy classes, which would ultimately become the font of the iPhone. And as you know, Microsoft copied iPhone. Had he not taken that one class, who knows how our fonts would look? My friend, whatever pain you are going through, I want you to truly believe that this is leading to something better. Truly believe that this pain is not suffering. This pain is going to be a testimony. This pain is going to be a story you use to motivate people. When E.T. the motivational speaker was eating out of trash can, about to commit suicide in an abandoned building because he couldn't read and write, he was disadvantaged, his parents didn't want him, every single person detested him. At age 11, he was sleeping in a car, which ended up being told he had to move to an abandoned building, eating out of trash can. It was painful in that moment as a young man going through that kind of experience, experiencing the vicissitudes of life at such a young age. Yet, that story has been so unique that he tells it incessantly, countless and countless of times. Yet, people don't seem to get tired. People have this idea that their life needs to be a full range of experiences. I have to keep sharing new stories and new stories. No, it would only exhaust yourself. Your lifetime isn't enough to accumulate the kind of stories or to build a robust story bank such that you wouldn't have to make allusions to the past, such that you tell a story once and that's it. First of all, it's counterintuitive because we as humans need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. This idea, you could say one thing and it sticks automatically, is flawed in and of itself. However, you can have such a unique experience, coming out victorious, helps people go through their difficulty. So if there's every single thing you're experiencing currently, don't want you to give up. If there's anything you give up after today's discourse, it's the scarcity mentality. There is more. There is more. And as always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.